Alexandra. Today's blue day, so we gotta. Okay, that's fine. Now let me check something. Alexandra. Okay. I guess you're not here at the moment, so. Is that my phone right there? All right. Hello, Alexandra, are you there? Or is that? Let's see. Juju. See. Yo, ready?
Yeah, this is still loud. What's up, buddy?
I'm here.
Hey.
Tune in. The Black Bear Party is presenting the Real Real Talk Show. We talk about friendship, love, and purpose. Right here is your host, JLX36, and our special guest, Alexandra Blockton.
Hey, Alexandra.
Ty, let me turn my camera on.
Good.
Oh, I tried to get on last night. I fell asleep.
Hey, you're good. I was just asleep right now.
You was?
I was dreaming too. Like I wasn't even about to get up.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good. You know, I get up.
I've been receiving the emails, but Sunday really threw me off. My son was in a real bad car accident.
Yeah. So what happened with that?
I don't live in St. Louis. I live in Illinois, right? So I get a call on my messenger. No, I get a message first. It say mom, but it's spelled wrong. It's from my son. And I'm like, hold on, he don't even talk like this. You know what I mean? Man, his face popped up on the messenger thing. He was like, Mom, I'm in the hospital. His whole face was bloody. I'm like, what happened? He said, I can't remember nothing. I just woke up and I'm in the hospital. So I'm like, I instantly get to panicking. You know what I mean? I'm like, where you at? He like, I'm in St. Louis. I don't know nothing about over there in Missouri. So I call he my educational mentor now. I call my mentor and I'm like, my son in the hospital and stuff and everything. So he calmed me down on the phone and stuff. He was like, first, Alexandra, you got to see what hospital he's actually at to know what's going on. So I called back on Messenger, tried to get a nurse on the phone. Then they said the name of the hospital. So I called, got that information, called him back, panicking on the phone with him until he got a ride to come and get me. And I went and picked him up. Thank God that he got released, but it was him and two of his friends in the car. The car flipped over in the air twice. Him and his friends are glad to be alive. My son is 6'3". You seen how, well, I don't know if you've seen his height, but he's really tall. He was flipped from the passenger side all the way under the back seat. He's thankful to have no broken bones. He only had a busted lip and scratches on his face. One of his friends got a broken leg, and the other one, their back and ribs is messed up.
Oh my God. Shit.
So I'm like, I don't know if it was God covering them. I don't know what it was, but the Lord was with my child Sunday. The Lord was definitely with him to walk out with, and his face was bloody. But by the time I got to the hospital, he said he cleaned his face off. But he got like scratches. You can tell like scratches, maybe like the glass or something. And then he got his bottom lip is real swole. And his nose was busted and everything. He could not remember nothing. He couldn't even tell me the name of his friend that he was with. That's how bad he got knocked out until his friend sent a picture of the car to his phone, and then it started, gradually coming back to him. But he didn't know. He said, "Mama, I'm not lying. Mama, I don't know. I don't know who I was. I don't know what's going on." And I guess a concussion can do that to somebody.
Yeah. Dang. Well, at least he's alive.
I'm glad that Julian, I freaked out. I'm like, damn, I can't afford to lose no more family members. You know what I mean? Like close to me, and then my only child. So yesterday, my boss, she just told me to take yesterday off. So I kind of just relaxed my mind and stuff yesterday, to be honest with you. And then I got the feeling better like late last night. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna stay up so I can talk with Julian and let him know what's going on and stuff. And I ended up dozing back off, falling asleep. So I said, I can't keep doing this. I said, let me message him to see if we can come on at least 30 minutes early.
Damn.
So I'm just thankful and glad to be over that hump, to be honest with you, because it was just a lot racing through my head. And then the fact that my father is deceased, but his birthday is coming up Saturday. So it's like, I got that on my mind. Then but yesterday I was able to just meditate and just relax.
Oh, wow. That's a big deal, man. That's rough. That's rough.
But I've been checking on him and stuff. He said he fine. He said he not in no pain. He said he just couldn't remember nothing.
Yeah. Dang. That's rough.
So I'm just thinking about him like being in that car and the car flipping over in the air twice off the highway into a ditch.
That's rough. I bet it's rough for you as a parent.
To me, it's rough because the simple fact is, I know he's a teen and his friends, but he has not been getting in any trouble with his friends that he hang with and stuff. And he mentioned to me before they'll go over there to St. Louis to the mall, and he's actually come back home. Like he got his Christmas money from his dad. He went out. Have been going back and forth to the mall and like hanging out with his girlfriend. So like he's 18, he lives with me. I'm not gonna stop him from doing that because he's not getting in any trouble.
Yeah, this is just life happenings, man. It's just you can't live afraid of that. So you gotta keep living.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you don't want it to happen to you or your child.
Right.
I've been in my share of car wrecks, and they've been rough as well. But one thing is going through it yourself, but I can only imagine my mom. Like my mom's had to deal with a lot of phone calls, and it'd be messing with her. So that's why like I haven't experienced that with my children, you know. Like
Mhm. I can imagine how your mother feel though. You know what I'm saying? From
yeah.
like a mother point of view, I can definitely imagine how she feel.
And like one of the worst accidents, you know, we kept a secret from her and she took that personally. She didn't like that. Because
Mhm.
she was out of the country, but we didn't want to worry her about it. So we kept it a secret and that really messed with her. She didn't like that. But yeah, it's rough. As a parent, I haven't been through that. You know, we've been through that in one of Raymond's girlfriends, you know, that the ending was different.
Mhm.
It was a bad ending. That was psychologically rough as well because
I
you
bet
know
it was.
there's a you expect people of older ages to like not be here. You know, you don't expect someone young
Mhm.
to like get caught up like that, but that's how life is. You know,
Mhm.
he's blessed to be alive because it's one of those things. When it's your day, it's your day, and it's not your day, it's not your day. Um,
And I'm not ready. I mean, like, I'm not ready.
right? Ain't nobody's ready. Nobody want to hear that. Nobody want to go through that, you know. And then I feel for the parents of the other children, man, a broken back. Oh my God, broken leg.
His back, his ribs messed up. I'm like,
Like back is the worst. Yeah, I be telling people I don't be wishing that on nobody. Like I've been
I don't
recovering
wish it
off
on
of a back injury.
nobody.
You know, I've been recovering off of a back injury, and I'm like, that wasn't even a car wreck. That was just me like working out injury. Like imagine like a car wreck back injury. Oh my God.
But I'm thinking to myself, as tall as my son is, getting thrown from the front seat, 6'3", and getting found balled up under the back seat, that's probably what protected him.
Yeah, he probably didn't see it coming, you know, and that's usually a good thing. So he probably was relaxed when it happened. So his body just went with the motions.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, like if you get tense or whatever, and you try to resist it, I think that's when people can get, you know, you can get hurt no matter what. But
Right, but you can be more prone to being hurt if you try to resist it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
But
she,
I'm thankful. I'm so thankful. I'm over that hump, Julian. Like I've had yesterday, I just really just relaxed my mind. Just took time out to relax. My boss, she just texted me. She said, just take the day off and just because that first night, Sunday night, even when I got him home from the hospital, I didn't get no sleep.
nah. And then you know, it's like in the same way he been traumatized, you've been traumatized too. Like because he might think twice before he go to St. Louis again, you know, gets in the car and going like, you know, it takes a while to get that out your head, you know.
Hmm. And then being with, I know his friends, they younger, typically younger drivers do have car accidents and stuff like that. And I
That
just
happens to
want him to,
anybody.
yeah, that's true. But I just want him to just be, just cautious, when you're riding with somebody, not trying to tell them how to drive and stuff, but pay attention to your surroundings. Be more, to pay attention. So,
Yeah. And it's one of those things like not having the seatbelt could have saved them too, you know, like sometimes you can be like, well, the seatbelt saves them. And sometimes it don't, you know. So it's
and
like,
that one with the car flipping over in the air twice, I'm thankful he didn't have a seatbelt on at the same time, because if he would have had a seatbelt on, it probably would have wrapped around his neck or something.
yeah, who knows? Or he could have been in a position that then the way the car crushed, it could have like
It could
caught
have
him.
broke his neck or something.
Yeah, so it's like you never want. I mean, luck. Fortunately, he's alive, and you know we don't got to get caught up in the what if. So it's all
Hmm.
good. But it's definitely a moment of reflection. You know, like so at work, um, you know, now at least I've heard it at least once and maybe twice,
Hmm.
and people probably keep it to themselves. um they say that like I'll say it about myself too, that I'm like a passive leader. Like I'm passive. Like I'm not aggressive. I'm not like I go with the flow. I like I allow things to happen, you know. sometimes people would wish that I was a little bit more direct, more forward.
Well, to me, from my opinion, my personal opinion from working with you, I would say that you are the type of leader that when you're working with the individual, you want to let them find their passion and motivate them for what they're good at, what their strengths, and help them build their weaknesses.
Yeah.
That's what I get.
And and my strategy, because like, so you know that you're definitely correct. Um, and then some people, like some adults, would want me as the leader to put pressure on the student or the teenager to get things done, you know.
Mhm.
Um, but from my perspective, like, you know, I've been in a bunch of wrecks, and you know that the my son's girlfriend incident, you know, is
Mhm.
pretty fresh. And then other incidents, you know, caused me to like really sit with that. And it's like, so what's the point, right? Like, imagine being strict on your child and then all of a sudden they ain't here.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And having all that, you know, what they call bad blood, or having all that, you know, all these fights. It's not worth it, right? It's not worth it. Like,
Mhm.
if something would have happened that was more serious, it does. Or if anything, you start to regret all those moments that you was in an argument. Like, you know, you feel like regret. And then it's like, well, why go through that, and just be patient and be loving, be caring, be supportive, you know, to the best of your ability, and then just hope that you can inspire them over time to make better choices. But in the here and now, yeah, I'm gonna be passive, you know, and by passive I mean, like, I'm not gonna push or force nobody into doing something, like,
Mhm.
because, like, nothing's really worth it, you know.
Mhm.
Like there isn't one thing that gotta get done today or tomorrow or next week or even next year that has to happen. Like, for instance, you can get your education when you get older,
Mhm.
you know. Like, there's no rule that says you have to have it when you're young, you know. So then why put a pressure
And
that,
I'm a living proof of that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And
And you
I
when
don't
you
mean to
went and
cut.
got your life experiences, you know,
And,
which,
and now I feel like I don't mean to cut you off, but I feel like I have experienced life experiences. I have worked so many years within the hospitality field, but my work experience in my life for my resume and stuff all plays a huge role for me now, because either way you have education, no matter what, you're still going to need some work experience to go along with it. That's why individuals have to go into internships and stuff, but those are still not even promised to college students. Those are not promised.
and now you're ready to learn. Like like when you were younger, you probably wasn't ready to learn. Like now, you now, like, for instance, imagine if you would have tried to like pursue your GED maybe 10 years ago. You probably wouldn't have been so committed or dedicated as you are today. Like today, boom, you just knocking them out, bam, 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 you're just getting them done.
Mhm.
10 years ago, you may, you know, your son was younger, you may have had more distractions. Like, it's like, there's no, in my opinion, there's like no right or wrong time to do anything.
Mhm.
So it's like, in the here and now, you know, if you're in a leadership position, how can you be supportive of the person that you're leading, that you're managing? You know, rather than make them feel bad, let's make them feel good, you know. And people can disagree with that because they think, well, you gotta show tough love. But it's not worth it, man. Like, you can go do tough love. That ain't worth it.
You
Um,
can do tough love, you know what I'm saying? You can do tough love, but like I think each person has its own, but like the way that you come off, like you're gonna always keep the people that you work with around you in good company and stuff, and always look up to you because you're helping them find what motivates them in life. You helping them, okay, this is your strengths. Okay, you good at this. You keep doing this and this and this right here.
Right. Let's
Okay,
focus
now
on
this your
that.
weakness right here, Alexandra. Okay, this is something we're gonna work on this. We're gonna get you together on this. But right over here, you keep working on it no matter what it is you want to do.
Yeah. And you know, like a lot of people can take happiness for granted. Like there's people out there that maybe their primary focus should be being happy or hanging out, like with teens. Man, they've been in school all day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I get it. They've been in school all day. Who want to go from school to more school? And then you know, it's like they let me build trust. Let me build a relationship with them. And so I'm grateful to the way that you know I'm relating to the teens I got now because we're going slow, you know. Do I wish we were doing more leadership development stuff? Yes. But at the same time, that's me. I'm the one that likes that, you know. You know,
It's
when
like
I
you're
was
trying to get to know them, but you're also trying to get to know what works best for everyone,
yeah.
which can probably take some time. And I told myself, I said, I'm not going to rush the fact coming on with Julian students because at least by this time, it's still giving me enough time to gain knowledge, get myself equipped with the facilitations that we do. It gets me more experience. So when I am able to start talking to them and present knowledge to them and present material to them and stuff, I'll be well trained. So I'm just looking at it as like, okay, it's more time for me to get myself together.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, definitely. So everything works itself out. You know, this is a challenging experience for you to go through, but in the
Mhm.
bigger picture, I think that you know, trying to look for the silver lining, trying to look for the bright side to everything, trying to look for what we can learn from this situation. And
Mhm.
for me, it just reinforces like number one, how fragile life is. You know, it's like we every day we just got to be grateful to be here because you know this is like a car accident that was
Mhm.
unexpected, you know, and it doesn't matter your age, like if a car accident is coming, it's coming, you know what I mean, no matter your age, no matter nothing. And when you're in the hospital after a wreck, your education's not important, your work history is not important, you know, even your like your relationship with people, like maybe you guys aren't on good terms, that goes out the window too, because you know when someone's in a hurt position, you got to put that to the side.
Mhm.
So you know, it's like it just is, you know, for me it's a reminder of like just do your best every day.
Mhm.
You know, I want to be
Daddy.
important and memorable to everybody, like
Daddy.
you know, I don't want to like have a negative feeling.
No.
So
Hey, Juju.
say hi. Hi.
Hi.
Jaden, can you come give Juju some water, please? Juju been a little difficult some of these days.
Really? Juju, you've been being difficult?
But it's all good, you know, because it's like I get to practice what I preach. Yeah, and then put some in my mind too, please.
Okay.
You know, it's like, because the thing, even with that, is like, am I gonna just allow him? Yeah, I'm gonna allow him. I'm gonna do my best to still continue. And I'm not gonna be like the old school parents. I'm just not. And people can think that's a weakness or whatever.
Right.
But
I
like I
feel you on
said,
that
I,
though.
I wanna I don't wanna live with no regret. And for me, nothing in life is that serious. You know, and by that I mean is like there's not really anything worth having a big argument over. And I'm not saying don't argue. Yeah, you can. There's a way of doing things, and yeah, you can make mistakes, and yeah, we can be rough sometimes. But in the bigger picture, I'd rather be allowable.
Say please.
I'd rather just kind of like be slow with goals and go with Jaden. Go with Jaden. But yeah, you know, it's like so like having to listen to this is just kind of like a reminder, you know, on what's important, you know, what's really important. And for me, that's like the relationships, more important than achievements. Like Juju, what are you doing? Okay, go, 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 go. You know what I mean? So it's like a lot of people focus a lot of energy on their children's achievements. Oh, my kid's going to graduate from college or is graduating from this or got this job, which is good. It's good to be proud of those moments. But in my opinion, it's not worth putting those moments before your relationship. Like being, and it's hard to practice. It's really hard to practice. Like, you know, having a child that maybe isn't being productive is challenging to deal with because you know how important it is to be productive to make it in this world. But it's like you got to balance it as a parent. It's challenging, you know. That's why
It
I
is.
don't judge no. I don't. Well, I live to practice, not to judge parents. And when I say judge, I guess I got to clarify that. Because I had a conversation with someone today, and they said, you know, it's important to judge. And I think that maybe we just had different definitions, is what I told her. Maybe our definitions are different. Because what I mean by not judging is like I don't want to think that I'm superior to nobody else.
Like they're beneath you or something like that.
Yeah, I think that it's okay to observe, and you can have you can make an observation, and you can make statements about your observation. Like you can say, "Oh, that's not a good decision based on this, this, and that. That hurts them more than it helps them." But I don't think that's a judgment. If you're just making an observation, "Oh, that parent shouldn't be hitting their kids," but that doesn't mean that you're judging them. It means you're seeing that the parent's hitting their kid, and you see that their kid is not responding well to it. So that's probably something that shouldn't happen. Now, if I say that he or she is a bad person for hitting their kids, I think that's the judgment. When you make like when you devalue a person based on their actions, you know. And I think that's where it comes where the judgment part comes in. And I don't think that we should be judging people or saying that people are inferior to us or less than based on their actions. Now, it doesn't mean that we don't hold them accountable. We can still hold them accountable for making poor choices because you can make a bad decision and you should be punished for it. But it doesn't mean that you have to judge them. Like, so if someone commits murder, for instance, like, yeah, they deserve to get a punishment. They deserve to get a punishment. And sometimes that punishment should be life in prison. But does it mean that you're judging them and saying they're less of a person? They may have done an evil, at least in my opinion, they may have done an evil act, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're evil themselves or that they're, and not to say that they're not people that can fall into that category of evil, but at least even with the evil person, I don't want to put myself above an evil person because I know that, in my opinion, I don't necessarily believe that people are born evil. You know, I think that there are circumstances that results in that. So these are just, so people are a sum of their choices, but humans, in my opinion, have value just by being a human. And some of us go down a wrong path, just to use that word. Like we go down a trajectory, a pattern of living that results in harm to others. And I think we should be punished for that. But I don't want to go ahead and say that they are lesser people because they can redeem themselves. They can ask for forgiveness. They should have an opportunity to be able to get the forgiveness of society and still pay the consequences. Like if you take someone's child, you should pay for that. But you should also be able to be forgiven, but you should also be able to pay your consequences if that means life in prison, you know, whatever. Like I don't want to take away the consequences from a person who deserves consequences, but I think we don't have to make it a personal thing where then we feel like we're superior to that person. I guess is what and I think that's where I say about judging. I think it's like if we're trying to behave as if we're superior to them. Um, but yeah, it's you know, life. This is what life's about. It's challenging. It's challenging. It's tough to hear that because you know, I could see I could only imagine all the things that might have gone through your head and
And there was so much stuff going through my head, my mind. When I seen him with all that blood on his face, I just instantly freaked out. You know what I'm saying?
because you don't know how serious it is. Like
I didn't know nothing, but I'm like, hold on. I just instantly called my mentor, like, well, do you know which hospital? I'm like, no. He like, have you spoken to someone, like the nurse, anybody at the hospital? I'm like, no. He was like, well, Alexandra, you gotta at least just try to calm down for a few seconds to call back. Try to call your son on that messenger thing and see if anybody in his background or something. So that's what I did. He said, just get the name. Once you get the name, you can Google the rest.
Yeah.
So, and I ended up doing that. He said, just get a name. Don't even ask the address or nothing. Just get a name and you Google the rest and call. And I did that. And then I called him back and stuff. And he kind of helped calm me down and kind of talk to me on the phone and stuff. But it was just, and I called him and I was like, I apologize, for like freaking out. He was like, you ain't gotta apologize to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm just thankful to have good people like that in my corner, because other than that, I'm not really like close to nobody. You know what I'm saying? So
And it's like that's not something that you plan. Like, you don't sit here and be like, okay, who am I gonna call if this happens? You just go with the flow, go with your instinct. And fortunately, he was available. That's good that he was available to be able to help you. Because I mean, it could be chaotic, especially being he's in another town. Like, there's so much that goes into that, man. But yeah,
but
so and like I said, in my opinion, the bigger lessons, like, so how after this happens, right? Like, so then how what can we learn from this? And for me, it's being a little bit more compassionate, being more understanding, like, because imagine if you and him would have been on a fight or something.
right, and I'm glad like we had a good morning. Like I had just cleaned, we cleaned the house, we cooked, like we were just talking and chilling, and you know what I'm saying. So like we was in good spirits, and I've learned that in the past, like like because a while back ago he used to just do all type of things, just piss me off early in the morning, have me going, just running my mouth. But then by the time he leave out the door, I'll call his cell phone and be like, I apologize. Because as parents, we have to take responsibility for our actions and how we talk and things like that.
Yeah.
And that makes a big difference, because my son is 18 years old and he'll still tell me he love me and give me a hug in front of his friends, teachers. He don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll still do that. So
Yeah. And ultimately that's important. And then our children are smart, so like they'll do what they gotta do, to like to keep on our good side, if anything, or maybe be a little bit lazy sometimes, or be whatever. But it's all good. We was kids too, so it's all good. And like, I'd rather just live with no regret, I'd rather live with no regret and be patient about outcomes, be patient about achievements. It's a long there's time to get things done. And for the here and now, let's have a good relationship, and let's focus on having a strong, good relationship, and just go from there. But it's tough to hear. It's tough to be in your position, and have to hear those news. But I think this is important for parents to, like, be able to listen to, because sometimes as parents, we can go hard on our kids because we want them to have a good future. But what does a good future mean? What does that mean when there could be no future? Like, all this energy that we spend on trying to, like, have children like work on these specific skills so that they can do this when they become adults, but you got to balance it, because you don't want to lose too much of today thinking about tomorrow. Is you want to lose just the right amount of today for tomorrow. And then there's a lot of people, adults, a lot of kids, that they're giving too much of today. They're suffering too much today for a tomorrow that's not promised. And it's like you gotta walk that delicate line. Like, you gotta walk that line where it's like, okay, yeah, I'm investing in my future by, like, reading, I'm investing in my future by studying, but then I'm also investing in my now by hanging out with my friends, by hanging out with people I care about, with family. So it's like a balance. And I'm talking to myself as well. Like, you know, I feel like I wish I would be talking more to my family. And I feel kind of stuck because it's like I got a lot going on. And to make that first call, you know, I talk to my brother some, but there's like some cousins that I used to talk to a lot that I haven't been talking. You know, they got some friends I used to talk to a lot that I haven't been talking. But it's like, how can I still get the work I gotta get done today and still be able to have a relationship? So then I settle for being able to see how people are doing on social media, like Facebook and Instagram. So it's like that's one of the positives, is that I get to see how people are doing. But then the negative is that I'm not talking to them like this, the way me and you are talking. So Juju, what happened? Okay, he's having a meltdown. So man, that's rough to hear. Hopefully he's gonna be all good, and you know, he'll be able to move on from it. And you know, it'll, I guess this is like there could be a lot of positives that come from it, you know, because it's still fresh. It's like it's still brand new, because when it's only Wednesday. So, you know, at some point when he has a moment to reflect, and he may not reflect till a couple years, but whenever he's ready to reflect, it'll, you know, when you're in a position when you almost not here no more, it makes you look at life different. You know. What's up? Okay, go tell Jaden. Yeah, you know, like, because now it might adjust how he thinks about the decisions that he makes, because he's like, well, let me just do it today rather than just wait till tomorrow. Okay. So, man, that's tough, Alexandra.
Yeah, but I feel much better than I did today, but it's still gonna cross my mind. How much is gonna cross my mind? Like, I'm not for sure, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I'm not like Sunday, then Monday morning, I woke up, I barely had any rest. Like, it was tough for me.
Okay. Well, we don't gotta hang out here much longer. We could just call it a night.
Okay, it's up to you. Now tomorrow, what did you have in mind? I'm still I haven't been in my book because you know Monday I was off, so I just kind of relaxed my mind. But Race for Profit, I'm still reading. Um, we could do a discussion on that, kind of like how far I'm gone. Do you have anything in mind? I know last week we kind of covered followership and everything, and I got all those notes. I actually need to send you those notes too.
Yeah, so I just been going with the flow. I've been talking about leadership and followership,
Okay.
motivation.
Motivation tomorrow, that would be something really good.
Okay, we can touch on motivation. I've been talking about force, flow. Yeah, I just kind of been freestyling, talking about all these aspects and elements that play a role into leadership and followership. So we can talk about motivation, but because everything's connected. So I'll just come on and I'll just talk and I'll try to connect the dots. But when I'm by myself, I don't really tell many stories, and I'm okay with that. I'd rather save stories for when you're online.
Okay.
When other people online. But yeah, I'll just
I got it for us. And then if you could log on, it'll be 10:30 my time. That'd be perfect.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
So
I didn't mean to disturb you, wake you up.
No, I'm gonna get up anyway.
I can't keep missing being on there meeting with him. I said because I'm ready to get on, but I'm waking up like at 2:30, 3:30 in the morning. I'm looking like, oh my God, I done fell asleep sitting up here waiting to go in there. I'm like, I gotta message Julian so I can let him know.
And then I've been up till like 3 o'clock in the morning after I do the lives, but not today. Today I'm gonna try to go back to sleep.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. Well, I got this wrote down, and then tomorrow I'm gonna take some notes out of this book I'm reading, and then we can kind of touch bases and just kind of freestyle off of everything else that align with like leadership and followership.
For sure. All right. Good.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye bye.
Tell your son I said what's up.
Okay, I will. Thank
Later.
you. Bye bye.
Jaden. Go ahead. Let's tune it out. Huh? Hey, what you think monkeys do? Monkeys don't be having no bed. Lions ain't got no bed. You gotta figure out the floor.
I tell my solution is I'm getting a tent and I'm flooding it with sheets and pillows.
To now. The Black Hair Party has presented the Real Talk Show, where we talk about friendship, love, and purpose. That was your host, JRX36, and our special guest, Alexander Blockton. We will see you tomorrow night. When we'll see you tomorrow night then. Maybe it's 12 a.m. Eastern, maybe sooner. We'll see you then. Take care now. Bye-bye.